Hello and welcome to A Cat in the Garden. And today I've got Magic here. He has been super affectionate and cuddly today, so I figured I'd bring him along into the plant room to show you guys a little bit of an update on a lot of the cuttings that I have unboxed for you all on this channel this year. So I know it's only been 3 months into the year, but I realized there were quite a few plants that I've already unboxed. So I just want to go ahead and show you some updates. Some of them are growing really well and some of them are just a little bit slower, but that's okay. Each plant's going to take their own time. So these are just going to be plants that I've unboxed, not plants that I've gone out and bought at local nurseries. Though I think for the most part, I've just bought veggies, veggies and herbs. So most of the houseplants I bought this year have been through the mail. So without further ado, I don't quite remember the order in which I bought these plants, but I think most of them were in January and February. So one of the first ones I'm going to show you all is this one. Now it might look bigger than you remember, but if you do remember, I bought this section over here of Hoya Crystal, and I said that I wanted to put it in with the plant I already had. Well, the plant I already had has been growing like crazy. I've had it for quite a while longer now, but this was just a really nice bushy cutting that Sharon at Black Hat Gardener Shop was offering. So I snagged it and it is rooted now. Yeah, there's a bunch of little roots in here. It's kind of hard to tell since I did put two cuttings together. But the nice part about this one is that I can tell it has grown a bit. So you see in here, there's a couple of leaves. There's one shaded out right there. And then this one is also a new one. Not super high on the splash, but that's okay because this one is pretty splashy, so I don't really mind. I just wanted it to be a really full looking plant, and I think I've achieved that. What do you guys think? Does this look nice and full to you? Oh, it's even got a couple of new leaves growing here, but I think it looks really nice. Just really bushy up top and then trailing out with this piece here. So I think I've accomplished my goal with this plant. I would say that I wouldn't really classify it as a cutting anymore. I think this is at the point where it is a full plant, and I'm honestly really happy with it. I'm happy with the way that it looks. I'm happy that it's a steady grower, and it's just really nice to look at. So it looks like there's actually another growth point on this crystal that might take off in the near future? Question mark. But both of these leaves that I showed you, the new leaves, they came from the same node. So that's just really nice. It adds to the fuller effect. Sometimes you'll just get one leaf per node like this here, and that's okay, but it's just really nice when you get two. It's like the plant is being extra kind to you that day. So that is my Hoya Crystal. There you go. So that's the first update. I'll put that with Magic. He's sitting right here. I know it's hard to see him, but he's very affectionate today. So the next one I ordered at the same time, and that is going to be this little variegated heartleaf philodendron. You can kind of see, I've noticed, I didn't realize this before I bought my heartleaf philodendrons, the variegated ones, is that it does kind of act like a Jose Bueno where it fades. The variegation fades, but it's still there. It's just a lot harder to pick up on camera once it fades, and that's totally okay. And this one is pretty well rooted now, I'd say. You can see a bunch of roots in the cup, and it has a couple of growth points. So it has one here and it has one down here. I'm not sure if it's going to sustain both of those at the same time, so I might chop it again, especially since, if you can see, there is a little root coming down off of this. So if I chop it, it doesn't really have to go through a lot of stress because both nodes have pretty solid roots on them. So yeah, I might do that. This one doesn't have any growth point, but I could also, if I wanted to, I could chop off this top bit and just have 3 little cuttings together. We'll see how I'm feeling. I'm just really happy that this guy rooted really well. He didn't really go through a lot of shock. He is much slower than the Hoya Crystal that I just showed you, but honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as he's healthy and happy, I'm not gonna be mad about it. So that is my variegated heartleaf. So those were both from one unboxing. And then these next two, I know we're from another unboxing together. The first one is going to be this really adorable Hoya thompsonii. It has a little bit of splash on him. He's so cute. And he actually, when I got him, he had this little stick here, which is dying for the most part. But from a node at the bottom, it started growing. It has not grown from this section at all, but this section that had literally no leaves started growing. So we've got this slender leaf here, and then up top, if you can see, there's another node with some baby leaves. So super cute, kind of lending me on the side of maybe I should chop a node off of this side to try and encourage some growth. But either way, I'm really happy that it is growing. It's showing me that it has acclimated to my environment and it's doing really well. And it's happy enough that it's going to be pushing out some growth. So that is my cute little Hoya thompsonii. And in the same order, I also got this Hoya pandorada. And this one doesn't have too much going on. It already had some new growth coming out of it when I bought it. And this is what it ended up being, was this cute little leaf. I think it looks really nice. These leaves were damaged when I got it, so that's fine. But the new growth looks really nice and healthy. You can see that there. So I'm pretty happy with it, not gonna lie. I have not repotted almost any plants that I've gotten in the mail this year. I just like to let them do their thing, especially if they're in a small pot. It's much easier for me to take care of. And once I kind of see evidence that it's growing really well or it's really well rooted, then I will go ahead and repot them. But this one's growing a bit slower, so I'm just gonna leave it in its little home. I did just put these two in my Millsville tall, which you would have seen in a recent YouTube video. So hopefully it will really like that situation and start to grow hopefully a little bit faster. But even if it doesn't, it's a nice Hoya to look at. So that is the Hoya pandorada. And then I have one more box of plants that I opened and I kind of put them all together to show you. So the first one is the plant that I actually ordered, and that's gonna be this Hoya pubic calyx splash. This is from my friend Carson at Heffalumps Jungle on Etsy. He's also on Instagram, and if you buy from him on Instagram, you'll get a better deal. So just putting that out there. Want to save some money, go hit him up on Instagram. But my gosh, how beautiful is this plant? I still can't get over it. So it came with a little bit of a runner, and that's kind of what it's grown since I've gotten it. It's just more of this runner. So what I'll probably do at some point is give it a pole or a trellis so that it can hopefully attach itself, feel secure, put out some leaves. But I don't mind. A lot of Hoyas do this after I buy them, after anybody buys them really. They either grow leaves or they grow vines. That's totally okay. Any sign of growth is telling me that it's acclimated to my environment. So that's a positive for me, that's a win. The plant's doing really well. I have left it in the container it came in. There's some nice new roots. I don't know if you can see right here, they're nice white roots. So that's telling me all I need to know, that it's doing very well, and I love it. I literally can't get enough of this plant. Look at that. Is it focusing? Oh, I hope so, but you get the gist. It's gorgeous. And of course, Carson was super nice and gave me a couple of freebies. This one is the Philodendron Paraiso Verde. He had it in moss, like wrapped up in some paper. So I put it in one of my little cups that I like to propagate in. And this is well rooted at this point, I would say. This little cutting, you can see there's some roots here. There's roots crawling along the bottom. Here's a nice root here. And it did actually put out a new leaf for me. It has a little bit of speckles, which could be some of the variegation. I know this was cut during winter, and Paraiso Verde doesn't show so much variegation during winter, so I'm just waiting to see. I have it under some really bright light. My Millsville cabinet is very warm, so I'm hoping that I will get some variegation out of it soon. Either way, it's super cute and it's doing really well, so I can tell it is also acclimated to my environment and it's really happy. And the last one is the plant that I was so curious about when I got it. Oh, I just touched one of the leaves. Okay. So this was the Drosera Hercules that Carson actually grew from seed. And this might gross you out, I'm sorry, but I don't know if you can see, but this has been a busy plant. There are so many dead fungus gnats on this thing. I honestly want another one for my other cabinet because this plant is doing so well. I don't really know what I'm doing with carnivorous plants, I'm gonna be honest. I do not know. He said that it might go into shock when I got it, but I don't think it did. It was just hanging out. He told me to keep a little reservoir of water at all times, so that's what I've been doing, and it's losing a couple of older leaves. If you can see at the bottom, they're yellowing, but it's constantly putting out new leaves, and it's very sticky, like if you touch the little fronds. But I guess that's what traps the fungus gnats, and it seems to be doing really well. I actually am now kind of like hooked on it. I really enjoy having a sort of different weird plant in my collection, but weird in a good way. Like, I think it looks so cool, and it's doing a beneficial job for me. Instead of putting in mosquito bits or getting some weird spray, all I have to do is have this plant and almost all the fungus gnats are gone from my Millsbow. So I really like this more natural method of pest control, and I'm really enjoying just looking at the plant as well. Okay, so Nutmeg decided to join me at the very end here, but that is going to be it for my plant updates. Do you think they're doing well? Do you think I'm doing a good enough job with them? Let me know. I think they're doing really well, especially this guy. I just can't get over how well this has been doing in just a few months. Even the bigger cutting, I actually got less than a year ago. So it's really nice to see the new spring growth or new growth overall, and I'm really proud. I really like doing a little growth update after a few months just to see how far these plants have really come. I feel like in the moment it's hard to realize. I think, oh my gosh, my plants are growing so slow. Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? But really, they're growing faster than you think. So that's been really fun to see, and I hope you enjoyed this too. If you like this video, make sure to give us a thumbs up down below and subscribe so you don't miss anything else from me and the kitties. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one.